Strap yourselves in, folks. My quest for football management legendary status starts right here at Gainsborough Trinity on £240 a week. I mean, this is... I just don't know how I'm supposed to work in these kind of circumstances. As you would expect from anyone who has watched previous series of Non-League to Legend, obviously we have to put full-on realism mode on here. We've got to run the numbers. Now, I'm already a quite highly paid, successful male model, which obviously I have to give up to be able to take on this football management role. So £240 a week, it's a significant pay cut. And Gainsborough, looking at the map, it's miles away from where I live at the moment in Peterborough. It's an hour and a half there, and then presumably an hour and a half back again. I can't be doing a 3-hour round trip, so we're going to have to move house, everybody. We've done some investigation and some research. This is the house. This is all we can afford on £240 a week, so this is where the story begins. We're in a 3-bedroom mid-terrace house in Gainsborough that I've paid £50,000 for, and it's going to be a stretch. We need to push on for legendary status as soon as possible, really, because I'd quite like the whole mansion and stuff. But I guess the mansion comes with footballing success, and to have some footballing success, I suppose we have to run the intro and then do some Football Manager stuff. Hello and welcome to Season 1, Part 1 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're going to have a look through our summer transfers at Gainsborough, and we might even squeeze in our first league game of the season at home against Bradford Park Avenue. So, here we are. We're at Gainsborough Trinity. It feels like this has been a long time coming. I would ordinarily in this situation show you my squad on the traditional squad screen, but I tell you what, I really like this squad screen. So we're going to have a look at it on here. A lot of these are players that we've brought in. In fact, if we have a look at the transfer page, first of all, we have brought in a lot of players on free transfers. Dominic Roma, I guess, was the manager, because I don't remember him being around, so I guess he was player manager at the club previously, maybe. Seems a shame that he's gone. He's been here years. But we've brought in, 15 odd players. All of them on free transfers, apart from one free transfer one loan who's come in from Scunthorpe, who are our parent club. Rather than going through all of these individually, I think we'll just look at the squad depth overall, because most of these are basically the squad. There's not a lot that was here when I arrived that we're going to be sticking around with. I've done a traditional Kev thing, and I don't really know how this has happened, because I think new version of Football Manager allows you to commit spending way over your wage budget, which we were never allowed to do before. As soon as you were trying to sign too many players and it would have taken you over the wage budget, it massively brought the amount that you could offer in wages down, but it doesn't seem to have done that. So we've accidentally gone £1,000 a week over our wage budget, which, when we've only got 50 grand in the bank, and presumably we don't get any kind of, I know there's a season ticket screen on here somewhere. I can't remember where it lives. Is it on here somewhere where it tells us the number of seasons? Yeah, 165 season ticket holders. So problems potentially financially. Who'd have thought Kev's going to bankrupt a club already? Let's look at our squad depth and see what we've got. You'll get used to these players and you'll meet them all as the season goes on. As this screen suggests, we're going to be trying to do the 4-3-1-2, or a version of that I was doing with Everton in the beta save. If you've not seen that yet, you should probably go back and watch that. It was marvellous. Probably miss out the Liverpool bit that came before. That wasn't quite so good. But this is the squad that we have. There's still a few trialists knocking around, but we're not likely to be bringing anyone else now, because we've already gone way over our wage budget. So this is our goalkeeper, George Willis. He almost left as soon as I arrived. I think it was Halifax offered him a contract because he was out of contract, and looking at him, for this level, he is about as good a goalkeeper as we could possibly expect to get. 21 years old, 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. He has, I guess, just signed for Gainsborough in real life, so it was a bit odd that his contract was already up for renewal. But he was released from Sheffield United. He's been around a little bit on loans to Bradford Park Avenue, Alfreton, Matlock. Not really played anywhere, but he's going to be our number one this season. And I think he's one of our better players, going to be one of our most important players. Defence-wise, we've got a few decent-looking defenders. We're not going to go through them all. I would have liked a little bit more strength in depth at fullback, but, you know, we're in the Conference North. We can't spend loads of money on fullbacks. Leslie Saki is the one who's come in on loan from Scunthorpe, and he looks like he's got the potential to be pretty good. 17 years old. Looks like he's going to be too good for us as the season goes on. So that's a positive. I like a player who's too good for us. I've done my tradition of bringing some quick fullbacks who will meet as the episode goes on. And then midfield, Matt Sparrow is a name I recognised. He's 34 years old now. He's been around. I mean, he's done the tour of Lincolnshire over his career. He's been away a little bit. He spent a little spell at Brighton, but was at Scunthorpe for a long time. Has played for Lincoln as well. And he's now turned up at Gainsborough to be, again, far too good for us, but probably only good for one season because he's already 34 years old. We'll try and turn him into some kind of coach maybe, but he could be important if we can keep him fit. He's our only 4.5-star player. Other than that, we've got a mix of sort of non-league journeymen and youngsters as our other backup midfield players. This guy hopefully is going to make a bit of a difference for us. Pedro Carneiro, 18-year-old Portuguese advanced playmaker, 3-star current ability, but 5-star potential ability. He's quite quick, decent first touch, good technique. He's come on a free transfer from Barnsley, and I expect him to be a source of goals if he can start to fulfil some of that potential. And he's likely to get a lot of games because attacking midfield is probably the area where we're weakest. We're trying to bring someone in on loan to fill that gap, but that might lead to a tactical change fairly soon if he doesn't hit the ground running. Nathan Jarman is the other name I recognised in our squad. 29-year-old, again, been around a bit, mainly in non-league, so I guess I don't actually recognise him from real life. I probably recognise him from previous versions of Football Manager. Been at North Ferriby and Alfreton and Grimsby. In fact, I think I've managed Grimsby on a previous FM, and that's probably where I know him from. But he's probably good enough to bang in a lot of goals for us this season, and supporting him, amongst others, is going to be a non-league to legend 2016 veteran, Joey Johnson, who was in my Boston team that won Conference North at the first time of asking last season. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. Never left Wigan in real life last year. In fact, no, it looks like he's had a year off. It's almost as if Boston didn't happen. So he's had a year probably watching himself on YouTube thinking, God, I was quite good at Boston. If only I could get a chance with their local rivals with the same manager. Well, Joey, worry not. That chance has now come. Don't blow it, little fella. And yeah, there's lots of other people who you'll meet as we go. Anyway, we've brought in a huge number of staff as well. Now, I don't, as you'll see from the episode 0, which hopefully you've all watched, if not, you should watch that. I tend to leave most of the staff stuff, well, all of the staff stuff really, to my director of football, and we didn't have a director of football before. So our chairman brought in a director of football, Calvin Pennock, presumably Wayne Pennock's dad, although he was off of the Bolton battle last year. But he's probably younger than his dad because of the way time works. But we've got one of the Pennock brothers as our director of football, and he's brought in quite a nice selection of staff that we really don't need in the Conference North, but I wasn't going to say no. So we've now got a head of youth development and a chief scout and a director of football and a physio. What kind of luxury we live in. But what it does mean is staff-wise, we've now got the best scouting team in the Conference North. We're well above average for our medical team, 4th in the Conference North, and we're above average for all of the different coaching areas as well. We're sort of an upper mid-table team as far as coaching goes, which is going to be handy because player-wise, we're probably not. If we have a look at the board expectations, the board are just looking for us to not get relegated. If I recall, why can't I see board conference? That's what I'm looking for. They've moved all the pesky screens around. Right, competitions. Doesn't even say. Their expectation was don't get relegated. And the media prediction for us pre-season was pretty much, well, if you'd managed to avoid getting relegated, that'll be quite the season. They've got us as 300 to 1 to get promoted. In the relegation places. So don't expect an all-conquering season full of promotions and excitement like that. We are very much playing this with a view to not getting relegated. It's different from Boston last year. Boston are a big club at this level. That's why we managed to win the Conference North at the first time of asking last year. it's not happening this year. If we can avoid getting relegated and I can avoid getting sacked, that's going to be something for us to then build on from there. So, our first game of the season then. We are at home against Bradford Park Avenue. As you can see, pre-season has been an unmitigated disaster. We've only scored 1 goal across the friendlies and lost to some mighty teams such as Grantham and Brigg, and only barely beat our own under-23s. So, don't expect to win. Goodness me, don't expect to win, but this is the team we're putting out there. We've got George Willis in goal, who you've already met. In our back four, we have Jack Gurr at right back, 20-year-old. 20-year-old who can play anywhere across the back three. Is he one of my signings? He is one of my signings. He's come in from Gateshead. At left back, we have David Roberts, who I know I signed. He can play left back or centre back, and I'm quite excited about him. He was at Liverpool a couple of years ago, but I think he's got the potential to be a very decent left-back for us at this level. 5-star potential ability is always a good thing to have. At centre-back, we have one of the few players who was here when I arrived, Matt Wilson, 29 years old, only 2.5-star current ability, but he's our captain. He's been around a bit at this level. As you can see, he's done the tour of the Conference North all his career, so hopefully bit of experience, wise head on his shoulders to try and chivvy along the youngsters who are playing around him, and 17-year-old Leslie Saki, who's on loan from Scunthorpe, playing as our other centre-back. In our midfield three, we have Matt Sparrow as an advanced playmaker. We want this guy to get as much time on the ball as possible just to make special things happen. If he doesn't get in the game, I think we'll really struggle. Kevin Douglas is going to be a ball-winning midfielder. I think he was here as well. No, he's one of our signings, so he came in on a free transfer. Again, like all our free transfers, he's not had a club for a couple of years now, and he's only 19, so probably going to take him a little while to get back into playing regular football again. And Adam Pepper is going to be our box-to-box midfielder, another player we brought in, again, after missing at least a season of football. But, he's got experience in the Conference North, so I think I vaguely remember that name as well, but there might be a different Pepper knocking around. We've already met Pedro Carneiro, who's going to be our attacking midfielder behind the front two. And then we're going to have Joey Johnson as a poacher, who he never really got a chance as a regular starter at Boston, so there was some lad called Dale Southwell there. But Johnson is going to be a starter for us, at least initially. And then Nathan Jarman is going to be a defensive forward. It's something I've never really done before, but he can't really play as a target man or a complete forward or anything else really. All he can really do is defensive forward. So let's see what defensive forwards do. Outside of that, we're playing... Hold on, we're not playing standard. What's that nonsense? We're playing attacking, structured, and the same 4-team instructions that we had on towards the end with Everton. So we're going to look for overlap, play narrower, close down more, and play with a higher tempo. So we're basically just looking to get our fullbacks pushing on, closing down a lot, playing quickly, trying to get the ball forward as fast as possible, and hope that these two strikers are going to have enough about them to tuck away the many chances that this kind of system should create. So let's get into our first match and get ourselves a bit of an indication of what kind of season we're going to have. Obviously, we're not even favourites for our first home game. This is worrying. They've got Emil Sinclair up front. He used to play for Posh. Goodness me, we're going to be ruined. So, predictions down in the comments now. What do you think? And don't cheat. I want pre-match predictions. What's the score going to be? Oh, goodness me. 3 minutes on the clock. We're already 1-0 down. And as is always the way with Football Manager, it's the guy I identified pre-match. I deliberately didn't click on his name, because if you click on an opposition player's name, everyone knows that guarantees that they're going to score against you. But apparently, just saying his name, the computer's picked up on it, and it's got Emil Sinclair in there. It's a nice finish, but it's annoying. Right, how do we get... Hold on. I noticed we've got these stupid things on. Match feed settings. Don't do match feed. That's the main settings that we want. There we go. Get rid of that. I hope this isn't going to be humiliating. I played Football Manager in this way for the last 10 years at least. I always start right at the very bottom, try and work my way up. You lot might have some slightly unrealistic expectations based on how good the first season was with Boston last year. That's the only time in 10 years I've ever got promoted at the first time of asking. There are numerous occasions when I've been sacked before Christmas. There's been times when I've been stuck in the Conference North for 5 or 6 seasons. There was a year where I got stuck in Switzerland for about 5 years, and I don't really remember how I got there. But yeah, don't expect miracles. Oh, for goodness sake. I mean, that's the kind of finish that a Conference North player shouldn't even be capable of doing. Look at that. Nice little ball over the top. Sinclair's using his pace, but he should never, in a million years, be able to do that. It is placed absolutely perfectly. Willis has got no chance at all of doing anything about that. And we are going to be in for a long, hard season because we just don't look like we're close to being in this game. We've had one shot in that first half. So much for creating lots of chances. We might already be on the verge of abandoning the 4-3-1-2 because it hasn't worked in pre-season. It's not working now. We might have to go to a good old-fashioned 4-4-2 and just see if we can build something from there, or maybe the 3 at the back that we used with Bolton when we were down in the Conference North towards the end of FM17. That might be something that's worth a try, but we just need something to help us create some chances. We've just scored a goal. Jack Gurr, there you go. That's what happens when you play this system, though. Look where our right back was there. It's across from our left back, across to our right back, who's just hanging out in the penalty area. And we've got a goal back completely against a run of play. We're actually back in this match. And, I mean, they've had 3 clear-cut chances. They are destroying us, but we've just had a corner. I thought we'd won a penalty for a second there. It all sort of slowed down. Gurr has just, I mean, he's scored, but that was awful, and he's put Sinclair in. And that's the Emil Sinclair I remember from when he played for Posh, not the one who just scored a beautiful goal earlier in the match. Right, what can we do to try and change this all around? That's a worry. Carneiro, we already identified he might be a problem if he doesn't hit the ground running, and he's definitely not running at the moment. So we're going to bring on Gavin Rothery, who's more of a winger, really. Should we go 4-4-2? We're going to bring on Elliot Chamberlain as well, and I think we might go and do a 4-4-2 and just do this. Right, what does Sparrow want to be? Sparrow wants to be a winger. Sparrow can basically be whatever he wants to be. They're the rules that he lives by. Rothery, what do you want to be? You're more of a wide midfielder. You can be a wide midfielder then. That's fine. You do that. No, not a winger. That's clearly not what I clicked on. You can hear me when I'm identifying opposition players and make sure they score against me. But no, we can't do voice-activated player picking. Right, if we're doing this, we need to not be playing narrow anymore. Let's just play standard. And I guess we'll just leave it at that. We'll just take that instruction off. We haven't really got anyone who's going to get forward. Sparrow, you're going to be attacking. We need someone who's going to be breaking down the lines. Hold on, why is Jarman defensive? He was supposed to be a defensive striker on support. That's what Some of these things have changed, and I don't know why they're changing. Has he been defensive all match? Because that wasn't ever the intention. He was supposed to be a defensive forward on support. I don't want him hovering around basically being a defender up there. Oh, what is the world coming to? For some reason, I've got 2 centre-backs on the bench. I don't even know. This is what happens when you let your assistant manager pick the substitutes at this level. Let's take our captain off and just tell him to, we need good performances from you as well, or you ain't gonna. You're not guaranteed to play every game, young man. Come on, we haven't actually looked any better since we've gone to 4-4-2, have we really? So, Chamberlain's in though. We've got an equaliser. This changes everything. 4-4-2 is a way forward. Forget this 4-3-1-2 nonsense. I mean, that's the kind of goal I expect to be scoring. Proper route one, lumped up to Jarman. Jarman nods it on. Chamberlain's there to tuck it away, and with 4 minutes left on the clock, we are level against what you would expect to be a pretty good Bradford Park Avenue team. So if we can hold on to this, then this is an incredible result for the first game of the season. And definitely something that we can build from. If we can hold on to this, we're not getting relegated. We'll have none of that relegation talk. They're going to come and say, they didn't. We've got a draw. Marvellous. I've never been so excited about a draw in the first game of the season. So there we have it. Let's have a look at the schedule. I don't know where we're going to be tomorrow. When do we play Boston? That'd be an interesting one to have. Not for ages. Oh, look at that. That's got episode written all over it. Local derby, double header, Boxing Day and New Year's Day. Is that what happens in real life? Because that's brilliant if it is. Conference North, I applaud you. So that would definitely be an episode. We might do Salford and Brackley maybe. We'll see how we get on. It depends if we're winning or losing. If we're losing too much, we'll have to do an episode a bit sooner so I can at least get 2 or 3 in before I get sacked. As I mentioned on the episode 0 for Non-League to Legend, this year I would very much like to see you guys playing along with me. So all the rules for how to do that are in the episode 0. Let me know down in the comments to that video or this video if you are taking part, who you're managing, and if you are doing it on YouTube, send me the links and I'll put a playlist on the front page of my channel so we can get everyone's episode 1s all together in one place and have a big Non-League to Legend club. If you've enjoyed that video, and it's the first video of a new series, tell you what, should we be ridiculous? Should we ask for 500 likes? Now, I don't expect this anytime soon because we've never got anywhere near, but you know, if we can get there within a couple of days, that'd be nice. 500 likes would be amazing. So if we could do that, that would be an extra thumbs up from me for all you lot as well. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and thank you very much for watching.